Alright guys, welcome back. This is the last week of April. We have 3 lessons that we're going to be going over. These are our last 3 lessons in statistics, and they're all centered around something called a box plot. So when you guys look into your lessons, you're going to see reading box plots, creating box plots, and interpreting quartiles. We're going to start with the reading box plots first. And see what you guys think of that. You guys actually did this last year, but in 7th grade, we wanted to refresh it again with you because this goes hand in hand with some of the other different graphs that we were using, like dot plots and frequency tables. The one nice thing about box plots is you're going to see it shows a lot of data, and you're going to see a box plot looks something like this right here. When we're looking at a box plot, important things you need to know. All right, each one of these lines or dots means something. And so when I'm going through this, the first thing you see, that first dot here, well, that just tells you that's my lowest number. Okay, that's the lowest number. So that should always be these dots, the first and the last, always are going to talk about basically your smallest and your biggest number of the data. Okay, now when we're looking at the box plot, you're obviously going to see kind of this box. So this box is what's telling us where the majority of the data is lying around those numbers. Okay, so you can see that the first part of the box begins at 2, the last part of the box ends at 6, and so that's where the majority of our numbers are going to be found. And so these lines actually represent, let me kind of do this here. These lines of the boxes, the beginning and the end, actually represent something called basically quartile range. Okay, and so we would call this one Q1. All right, actually we'll call it Q1. And then this one over here, this is our other quartile range, and we can call that one, I believe, Q3. All right. And now when I'm looking at this, those are our ranges. If it actually would help you guys could also, just because we might not be using those terms all the time, you're going to be calling them your interquartile range. So you could call them your IQR, the interquartile ranges. IQR. And that's the beginning line. That's this line right here, and that would be this line right here. Those are both interquartile ranges. Okay? And then you obviously are going to see I have this middle line right here. That middle line, if you guys remember from a previous lesson, the middle of the data, that's our median. All right? We use our median. All right, whenever we're working with box plots. So that's the middle range of our data. So you have the low number, the high number, and then the interquartile ranges, the IQRs. And we'll explain, you're going to have a few more lessons too that talk more about that. Sorry, it is a lot easier to do this on the tablet in the classroom than it is doing it like this, but hopefully you guys get the picture here. So using this information that we have here, this is going to be helpful because once I understand what makes up these box plots, this whole entire lesson is just asking you guys to basically interpret what you're seeing, and they're going to give you the box plot, and they want to make sure that you understand where to find the median, where do you find the ranges, the interquartile range, or where do you find, and something that we're going to be talking about today is also the range of a number. Okay, and this is actually really easy because with the range, if you're looking for the range of a number, you're going to be taking the lowest number and the highest number. All right. All right. Lowest number and the highest number, and you're going to subtract them, and that's going to get you your range. Okay. So we're going to be talking about that today as well. Range is basically highest number minus the lowest, and whatever that equals, there's your range, okay? So on the first one, it just says find the median. Okay, well, we talked a little bit about this already by looking at what we wrote down here. The median is always that middle line in the box. And so if you look at where that middle line of the box falls, you're going to see that it goes right down to the number 4. So this one's pretty simple. Find the median of the data. Well, it's going to be 4. The median is, again, say this again, the median is always that middle line in the box. Here, this one is called interquartile range. And we mentioned a little bit about these parts of the box right here, IQR, interquart. I know that these lines do not represent interquartile range, but I'm just calling them IQR just because you're going to be needing these two to find the interquartile range. We will use these as Q1, Q3. So for interquartile range, you're going to be taking kind of like what we were talking about with range just a problem ago. When we're finding range, you take the biggest number and subtract it with the smallest number. But that's just pure range. This is called interquartile range. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the quartiles, this one here and this one here, and you're going to subtract them, 7 minus 4. So basically the things you're going to have to keep separate. If I'm looking for just regular range, all right, just regular range, we'll just call it R. That's going to be, I guess, 8.5 minus 2.5, the biggest minus the smallest. You're still using that same concept, but now this is called quartile range. You're going to take your quartiles, not just the biggest and smallest number. The quartile, the biggest quartile is 7. The smallest quartile is 4. 7 minus 4, that's going to be 3. So our quartile range is 3. Here, this one just says the pure range. We're looking for the pure range of a number. Again, range is your highest number, all right? Highest minus the lowest. So while you're looking through this, you should be looking at this dot here, because we're not talking about quartile ranges. We're just talking about just pure range. And this one here, well, this number, this dot goes down to 25, and this dot goes down to 5. So what I would do is I would put my highest number, 25, minus 5, and that's going to be 20. So I'll go 20, and that's it. Here, the median, if you guys remember this before, our median is always the middle line in the box. So just by looking at the box plot, the median is always going to be inside the box. And I know this doesn't look like it's in the middle of the box, but it's that, basically think of it as the middle line as being there's a line here, there's a line here, there's a line here. The middle is going to be that one right there. All right, so 6, if you look at this, this would extend down, it goes straight down to 6. 6 is going to be our answer, and that's all you have to do. So this lesson here should not be too difficult for you guys. Follow along. If you have any more questions, please reach out to me. But please take time to look at the video before you have questions, because I think this one is pretty simple compared to maybe the last one that you'll be doing in this week. So, all right, we'll end that here. You guys take care.